This video is sponsored by Action VFX. Hey guys, what's up? I am Nikhil from Dope Motions and welcome to this brand new After Effects tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a logo reveal with a theme of thunderstorm and lightning. This is almost a 30-minute long tutorial, so I would suggest you to grab a coffee or something because we will be uncovering a lot of different tricks and techniques in this video, which I am sure you don't want to miss. And if you're new to After Effects, then I would love to recommend you guys my After Effects course to help you get started. Link is in the description. So with that said, let's jump straight into After Effects and get started with today's video. Alright, so here we are in After Effects. Let's start by creating a new composition. Let's call this render as our main render comp. Let's go with 1920 into 1080, that is full HD, 30 fps and 10 seconds long duration. Press OK. Then create another new composition for our logo. So let's call this logo with the same exact properties and click OK. Then in the assets, I have a few assets. By the way, you can download this complete project file for free. Link is in the description, which will include all these different assets that I will be using for this particular video. So here I have my logo. I'll use this one. Let's make this a bit smaller like so. All right. Then I'm going to create another new composition. Let's call this logo edge. And then drag the logo composition just like so. Go into effects and presets and search for an effect called fill. You can just simply double click to apply that. Let's make this black color. Press Ctrl D to duplicate it and then turn this into a white color. Then go into effects and presets and search for an effect called simple choker. Double click to apply that and let's set the choke matte to 5. And this will help us to get this really nice edges. Then right click and create a new adjustment layer. Call this blur. Go into effects and presets and search for an effect called fast box blur. Let's set this to around 3. Now let's go ahead and create some nice reflections for our logo to make it look even more realistic and 3D. So to do that, I'm going to create a new composition, call this logo reflections. Drag the logo edge composition. We can hide that. Then create another new composition. This is going to be a reflection comp. So we can call this ref or ref. And here I have a reflection video that I will be using. I can just stretch this and keep it at comp size. It's a pretty simple video like just so. And we can close that. Let's drag the reflection composition on top of the logo edge. And on top of that, I'll add the logo composition. Then change the track matte of the reflection comp. If you don't see the track matte option, you can click on this small button and then change this to alpha matte. Then on the reflection comp, go into effects and presets and add an effect called CC glass. Go into surface. And in the bump map, I'm going to select the logo edge. Make sure the property is set to lightness. Bring down the softness to around 5. And let's bring up the height to 70 and bring down the displacement to -200. So we get this really nice chiseled edge. Then go into the light. Let's change the light type to point light. This is looking good. And then go into effects and presets again. Search for an effect called CC Blobilize. Add that, go into the blobbiness and let's set this to logo edge as well. Let's bring that down to 2.5 and cut away to 0. So this is looking very nice. As you can see, our logo is looking very nice and metallic, just the way we want. I'm going to increase the size a little bit of the logo so I can go back and let's press S. scale this up so it looks much better, I think. So there we have a nice reflective logo looking pretty good. Now let's create a new composition, call this logo light. Press OK. Then drag the logo reflections composition inside just like so. And then I'm going to right click and create a new light. Let's keep it spotlight and let's leave these settings at default. Make sure the fall off is set to inverse square clamped and cast shadow is off. Click on OK. Then turn this logo reflection composition into a 3D comp, so I can toggle switch and click on this small button so that the light can affect the 3D layer. And then I'm going to move it somewhere around here. All right, let's go into the properties or the light options, and I'm going to play around with the cone angle. So I'm going to keep it somewhere around there. And now we can play around with the intensity. All right, so for the color, for now, I'm going to go and keep it somewhere around a nice blue color. All right, so that is looking nice. And then here in the assets, I have a few elements from Action VFX, who is also our today's sponsor. Action VFX is one of the best websites to download stock footages for your visual effects. They have a complete library of effects like smoke, energy, fire, explosions, particles, debris, water, and even sound effects. All these effects are used in movies like Jumanji, Spider-Man Far From Home, Stranger Things, and more. And at present, they have a special Black Friday sale going on from 22nd to 25th of November, where you can get all these VFX elements for a flat 55% off. All annual subscription plans like individual and studio plans purchased during this sale will receive 2x the amount of monthly credit, that is 60 credits instead of 30. So this is the right time to get your subscription from Action VFX. To know more about them, make sure to click the first link in the description below. So I have this lightning footage, as you can see, so I'll be using this. So what I can do is simply drag and drop it like so. And you can see we have this nice lightning. And then what I'm going to do is go into effects and presets and search for a preset called unmult. This one, and let's drag and drop it onto the lightning, and that will help us to get rid of the black background. You can simply use the screen blend mode, but that doesn't work the way we want it to. So I'm going to select this one and then go into effects and presets again, search for hue and saturation so we can add some color to this. So turn on colorize, set this to 100, and let's set this to a nice blue color. Something like that looks good. Let's select this. I'm going to bring it here and press R to rotate it by 90 degrees. And I'm going to place it somewhere around here. Obviously, we can adjust the size the way we want. And then I'm going to click right here, go into columns and stretch. Let's stretch this down. So basically speed it up to around 30% or 30 or 40% should be good. 30% looks fine to me. So I'll go somewhere around here, cut this up right here. So I'm going to hold Alt and right square bracket. So basically we have something like this. Looking pretty good. I'll adjust it and place it right over here. We can scale this up a little bit. Okay, so that is looking pretty nice. All right. And now I'm going to manually animate the keyframe of the light intensity according to the lightning. So we can go right here inside this, create a keyframe on the intensity and hit U so we can just see the keyframes. And let's start from the very start. So I can press Ctrl Shift H so we can hide all the control layers. Let's go right here and set this to 0 basically. I'll go few frames forward. Let's increase the intensity like so. Go a few frames forward. Increase this. Bring that down. Increase this again. and boom, let's set this to 0. So now if I preview this, we have something like this, which looks pretty interesting. As you can see, it looks like the lightning is affecting our logo, and that is exactly what we want. Looks pretty damn cool. Now let's do this one more time. So I'm gonna hit Control Shift H, select the spotlight, press Control D to duplicate it, hit U so we can see the keyframes, get rid of them. Let's set this up like so, and this time I'm gonna move this like here, and let's give it a different color. So let's go with something maybe like red. All right, I'm gonna select the lightning, press Ctrl D to duplicate it. Let's move this right here. Let's move this run right over here, just where it ends. Also, I can bring up the uh, duration. I can change the duration, the speed of the lightning footage, and I'm going to place this one here. Press S, unlink this and set this to -75, so we have a bit more variation. All right here, let's set this to a nice red color, and now we can basically animate the intensity of spotlight 2. So I'll actually go into the light options, create a keyframe on the intensity, and the same exact process that we did before. We can also crop the layer, so hold Alt and left square bracket, and set this to 0. So now let's preview this. Let's see what we have. And as you can see, it's looking very cool. You can add as many lightning effects as you want. This is looking pretty cool, by the way. Yep. And then finally, I will add the logo reflection comp on the top again. And I have another footage that is the electricity coming out towards the camera. And I can copy these three effects from here. So I can just simply select these three, Control C to copy it and paste it on this one. And for the color, I'll go with a different color. So this one, maybe something like a nice orange or yellowish tone. And then select the spotlight again, press Ctrl D to duplicate it, press U and get rid of the keyframes, increase the intensity. Also make sure the logo reflection that we just added is a 3D layer. I'll select the spotlight 3 and I'll move this in the center, and let's change the color of this to a nice orangish yellow tone, and we can move this up along with this, and then we can align this footage with this. So then we want the third lightning to appear from here. All right, so from somewhere around there. Actually, let's increase the speed of this. So let's set this to around 70 or 60 should be good, I think. And then animate the intensity of this. So we can hit U 2 times. Then go into the spotlight 3. And let's animate the intensity. So let's create a keyframe, go back and set this to 0. So we have something like this. All right, so now let's go ahead in time a little bit, maybe somewhere around there, and crop the electric cam layer. So hold Alt and right square bracket, and then select the spotlight 3, and I'll go into the color, create a keyframe here on the color, go a few frames forward, and let's make this white. So we have a transition like that. And while the transition is happening, I have another footage of lightning or some lightning waves that I can add behind this. So I'll just go right here, put it at the back, somewhere around there, and let's add a tint effect. We can also add a hue and saturation, by the way, but let's go with a nice tint and add it right here. Let's bring up the speed. So we have something like this, and let's animate the opacity of this. So I'll create a keyframe, go right here and set this to 0. So we have something like this. I think it's a bit too fast, so let's set this to around 80. And there we go, this is looking very nice. I'll also animate while the color shift is happening. I'll also animate the logo. So what we can do is select this, hit P to bring down the position, create a keyframe. Let's go a few frames forward and move this up a little bit like so. And while it moves up, I want the text to reveal, so I'll select the text tool, and you can of course type in anything. I'm going to type in maybe something like wings. I'll position it right here, and then we can animate this. So let's select this, hit P to bring down the position, create a keyframe, hit T, create a keyframe on the opacity, hit U, go back, bring that down, and let's set this to 0. Then I'll select all the keyframe, press F9 to ease them, go into the graph editor, right click and select edit speed graph, and let's create a curve like so. So now when we preview this, we have something which looks like this. Pretty nice. So that is looking very nice. Also, we can crop this one, the bottom logo animation. So I can hold Alt and right square bracket, and there we go, there we have it. Now if we want, we can end our logo reveal right here. It's looking very nice, but let's add that final look of the floor reflection, which is very cool and adds a very nice depth to the complete scene. So to do that, I'll go to our main render comp and drag the logo light composition just like so. All right, I'll hit Ctrl Y to create a new solid, called this BG for background, and make it black. Let's place it below. Now let's go into the assets and drag the texture that we have here, and I'm going to make this 3D. We can actually rotate it like so and place it at the bottom and stretch this, and then just stretch this like so, push this back in Z space, so we have something like this. All right, select the texture, press Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose it, move all attributes. Let's call this floor, press OK. We can hide that. Select the logo light composition that we have, press Ctrl D to duplicate it. We can call this ref reflection, and I'm going to just simply press S, unlink this, and let's switch this like so and pull that down. Then create a new adjustment layer. Make sure this is our main logo comp, so I'll place it on the top. Let's hide this for now. This is our adjustment layer. Let's call this blur. Then go into effects and presets and search for an effect called compound blur. Apply that, and let's set this to floor and increase this. So you can see we get this nice floor texture, which is looking very nice, and turn this on. So now we have a nice reflective floor. As you can see, it looks very cool. Now obviously you can see we get this kind of hard edges because our floor ends right here. So is select the reflection layer, select the rectangle tool and create a mask like so, and then press F and feather this out, and that should fix it. And there we have it, a nice reflective floor. Make sure to add all these effects, Ctrl C of unmult, to our last waves, electric waves that we have added. So make sure to add that, and we can get rid of actually the hue and saturation, and that should fix it. And if I want, I can really increase the intensity, make it really something like this, and then bring down the opacity of the reflection just a little bit. So now we have this very nice electrifying logo animation inside of After Effects, using some very simple stock footages and effects from Action VFX. Now the final touch that I want to add is a zoom in camera animation. So let's create a new adjustment layer. We can call this zoom. Go into effects and presets, search for transform effect, double click to apply this, Let's go at the very start, create a keyframe, go all the way up to 7 seconds, and let's set this to 112. So we have a little bit of camera movement. And to add a final touch, I'll also create a new adjustment layer again, and let's add some noise. And also, whenever you're working with glows, always switch to 16-bit. So hold Alt and click on this button. Then select the noise adjustment layer, go into effects and presets and search for noise effect. Double click to apply this, unlink these two or uncheck these two, and then set this to 3%. This will add some nice noise into our comp or project, and boom, there we go. The best part about this technique is you can experiment with number of different lightning effects and footages and create your own unique looking animation. You can change the direction of the lightning, you can place it on the top, on the bottom, however you want. Action VFX has a huge library of these kind of effects, so I highly recommend you guys to go ahead and check them out. That is all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, do let me know in the comments section below, and make sure to like this video. You can also follow me on Instagram at dope.motions. Again, all the links are in the description. With that said, I will see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care and always stay raw, stay creative. Peace out.